Crafty Monsters, how is everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So, in today's fabulous tutorial, we are going to be making this amazing beach theme photo album. Now, we're making this album for a very, very dear friend of mine. We are a pair of admins for this amazing crafting group on Facebook. We're swappers because that's what we do. We swap. Well, I'm not really that big of a swapper. I'm more of like I'll help them out by doing a tutorial here and there for one of their little swaps or whatever, but I'm probably one of the worst admins in that group. They have me like one of their little pets right there, you know, just have Jesse around, but they're amazing, and I have a privilege of working with them as admins. And the group on Facebook that I'm talking about, it's Paper Crafters. I'm just laughing because I'm like seriously, I'm probably one of the worst admins because I am the least active in that group, honestly. So if you guys are probably like, you know, I mean, it's an amazing group. It really is. There's a lot of amazing crafters in that group, but I'm just saying, like, I don't really do a lot of stuff. Oh, I should be embarrassed to saying that. Anywho, so we're making a photo album for her. Her name is Candy, and I'm making her little beach themed little photo album, and it came out super cute. Now, I've never made a photo album on camera, but I have made a lot of photo albums. I've used, I've done so many where I've even designed some where are like super cute, and I'm probably going to be making some of those as tutorials. It's just that one of the ones that I make, and I made that as a little monkey somewhere along Instagram. There's probably a picture out there. It's of a little monkey that's like a tripod, but if there isn't, I don't know. But anyway, I also have some dies that do photo albums, but in this case, we went ahead and we went the opposite route. We went the route where you don't need a die and you don't need any special tools. All you need is a paper trimmer, boo-boo, some DSP paper, and maybe a heavyweight cardstock. I would recommend 110 pounds. You could use whatever it is that you want, boo-boo, because it is your photo album that you're making. It's your creation. But if you're going to ask Jesse, if you're going to sit there and say like, hey Jesse, well, what weight paper would you use as the pages? 110. 110, boo-boo. Use 110. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, you guys want to see this little photo album? Before we continue, I have to get this out, guys, because, you know, we're 3 minutes and 24 seconds into this intro video, but I gotta tell you guys, I really gotta tell you this, because this is gonna come from the bottom of my heart. Oh my god, guys, oh my god, seriously, I'm so excited. We have reached the 385 subscribers. 385. Like, who in the ever thought we were gonna get to this size? Like, seriously, I was even surprised when we got to 100. I was like, what? There is 100 crazy people like me willing to follow me? And then we're hitting like 185, and then I'm like, oh, there is, oh no, wait, 385, and then I'm like, there is 385 crazy people who would follow me. But I'm so thankful. I am so thankful for this 385 little family community that we have created amongst ourselves, our little crafty monsters, because that's what we are, boo-boo. We are a bunch of little crafty monsters, because that's what we do too. We just craft, you know? Rather it be because of health-wise, like mental health-wise, whatever it is, we craft, and we craft from the heart. And that's what I love. I love this crafting community. So, Anywho, I wanted to thank all of my little 385 subscribers and all of the new ones that are just subscribing today, because you guys are clicking that little icon right there with my little face right there. I know you are, because then we become BFFs. But anyway, so thank you to all of you guys. You guys are so freaking amazing. You guys rock. I love all of you from the very bottom of my heart, mijo. Let's get down and dirty, guys. Oh, did I show you the album? No, I didn't even show you the album. So this is the front page. I'm just gonna skim through it, okay? So the reason why we use a DSP paper is because I wanted the DSP paper to do most of the work, so you don't have to really decorate as much. Why? Because majority of the space that we're using is going to be occupied by the pictures. This is my family portrait. You guys saw me use this throughout the video. I designed these little decorations, the very little decorations that I put onto this little, to this little photo album. I designed it. My God, why isn't it doing what I want it to do? So I designed it to where it's going to basically, right there, sorry. It's going to be where the photo is going to be behind some of the little clip arts. And I did that on purpose, so that you can still see some of the little, some of the little decorations. So most of all the decorations you see, like this little surfboard, the picture is going to go behind it. And all of these little decorations you see here, the picture is going to be behind it. Like these little chairs, it's going to lay behind it. And I did that so, most of all the decorations will show. Look at this little banner. Aww. This banner is so freaking adorable. I know. I know. So, and then look at this little bad boy right here with like the sky. That's gorgeous. And then I made a little banner here. We're just skimming through this really quick, guys. So we let the DSP paper do most of the work. Right here, I left it blank. I didn't put anything so that she could put a picture on here. I did this blank so that she could actually write some little notes about her trip, about this album. So she could write on here like all of the really highlights of her trip, and keep it brief, boo boo. Keep it brief. We don't want a biography. Jesse don't even know what that means. I mean, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so let's get down and dirty, boo boo, because I know you want to get down and dirty, and I will see you guys in a bit. All right then, my little crafty monsters, let's get down and dirty. This is my little portrait of my family. This is the Recollection 65 pound that we're using, and then these cardstocks are 110 pound. And then this is the paper pack we will be using that we purchased at the Hobby Lobbies. And we're going to go ahead and skim through all of the pages here. There is 2 pages per design, and they are front and back. And I feel like you get a little bit more choice to pick out of designs when they're front and back. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys what paper is coming with this little paper pack. These are some cutouts, and then also you could use it as a full DSP paper if you'd like. In this case, I think we're going to use one on one side and one on the other. So I really like this DSP paper. These are the stickers that come in that paper pack, and they are pretty thick. They're kind of like a thin chipboard. And then those were the other stickers that we're going to use. So we're going to go ahead and start off by cutting our pages. And these pages are cut out of cardstock that is 110 pounds, like I said. These are Recollections, and we are just cutting these in half. So basically, these pages will be 8.5 by 5.5. So go ahead and cut all of your pages at 5.5. And this will accommodate any 4x6 photos that you guys will have, or that your recipient will be able to print out. I just printed something that is the most common size, and that they could probably go to either Walgreens or CVS or wherever it is that they print any pictures. Does CVS print pictures? I'm not really 100% sure, but I know Walgreens does. So you could either go there or you could go to Walmart and, print your 4x6 is really cheap. So we're going to use some of this little chipboard. We're going to recycle. And no, Chubba did not eat these because Chubba does not like grape jelly. Sorry, these were not mine. These were the hubby's. He buys these when he goes to work for the events because, it's a little snack. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and cut these out because we're going to use 2 pieces so that we can cut out the front cover and the back cover of this little photo album that we are going to make. And I like to recycle boxes, so this is one way of recycling it. The recipient will never know unless the recipient watches this video that she's gonna know she has a grape jelly peanut butter box, whatever it's called. So now that I cut it down, I'm gonna go ahead and actually cut it down to the size that I need it to be, and it's going to be like I said, 8.5 by 5.5. And I like to cut a little bit bigger than the size so that I can go around the opposite direction and cut it so that I know that I have straight cuts. I really hope that this makes sense because it totally makes sense in my head. But if not, I guess you guys are just gonna have to rewatch this video again. But anyway, so right here I have the front and the back cover of my little photo album, and I'm going to go ahead and just write down the measurements because Jesse's really forgetful and he's going to forget what measurements he cut all of this out. And then also too, because I kind of figure out what the measurements for the card mat is going to be. I mean, we always know that we go down about 1/4 of an inch, whatever it is that we're going to do when we're doing card mats for any kind of project. But yeah, so right here I'm just going to go ahead and try to figure out which is going to be the front cover and the back cover. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out what part of that page I want to use. So on this case, I'm going to go ahead and use a lot of the left side of this picture. I'm not going to focus on the actual lighthouse because we're going to go ahead and put a lighthouse on the inside of the photo album. So that's going to be the front. And originally we were going to use the sand, but the way I cut it, I kind of effed it all up and it was kind of upside down. So we're gonna have to go ahead and flip it around, which it kind of ended up working out pretty good anyway. So right here I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers little hole punchers, and this is for like when you're doing the planners and stuff like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and line those up on the little measurements on each side. I'm going to remember where I lined this up because we're going to go ahead and keep lining up all the other pages to this exact measurement. So just remember where you're lining it up, guys. And then just go ahead and cut out your little holes on the DSP paper as well so that everything is lined up. And right here I'm just going to go ahead and do all the pages. And like I said, this is the part where you're going to have to remember where it is that you're lining it up, and so that they're all more or less of kind of the same measurement on where the holes are. So right here I'm just using my super thick double-sided tape. This is just so we can go ahead and get over with on this part. And the only reason why I'm using double-sided tape for this part is because that part of this little box is a really slick surface, and I've noticed that there are a lot of adhesives that will not stick to that, but there's one adhesive that will hold this little bad boy into place, and that's the double-sided tape. So we're going to go ahead and use double-sided tape for that slick part of the actual box. Now for the inside, the part that's actual cardboard, you don't have to really worry too much about that. That you can actually use liquid adhesive and that would work just fine. It's just for this part because, like I said, it has that slick surface. So most liquid adhesives don't really work. And you don't want to really use a lot of hot glue because the hot glue will kind of be a little bit bumpy, and you don't want bumps on your cover of your photo album. Well, you don't want bumps on anything, period. But, you know, you just want to make sure that you don't have big old bumps with the hot glue. So we are using double-sided tape. Hopefully you have this thickness of double-sided tape. If not, you will be using a lot of that little 1-inch tape. So, excuse me. So right here, we're going to go ahead and just take off the backing, and then we're going to go ahead and add this little panel onto this cover. Now right here, I effed it all up. This is the part that is really hard, is when you're using double-sided tape, because once you lay that item down onto that double-sided tape, there is no going back. So if you aligned it perfectly, then awesome. But if you didn't, like in this case, you're just going to have to work with it. So we can't cut it because then that's going to make that back cover a lot smaller than the front cover, and it's just going to look a little off. So we're going to fix that later on, and you guys will see how I do that. So right here, we're going to go ahead and just start putting all of the little panels onto our covers. And I did round the corners because I do want it to be more of a finish, you know, like a little finished look, than it to be just regular, you know, sharp corners. And right here, it was perfect because that, what is it called? That chipboard is really not that thick. So this corner chomper worked perfect. And right here, I just did it to all of the other pages. I still have some other pages that I need to do, and that's these little bad boys right here. We're going to go ahead and hole punch these little suckers too, because we forgot to do these. We're doing a total of 5 pages because that will give the recipient 10 pages in total. Actually 10, 11, 12 pages in total, including the inside of the front and back cover, so that they can have a total of, how many pictures? 12. Good job, my little crafty monsters. So they'll have a total of 12 pictures they could put up in this photo album. And that is why we're just using 5 pages, because they're going to use the front and the back of each page. Excuse me. So right here, what I did was, remember we cut each one of these pages to 8.5 by 5.5. So we went ahead and we went down 1/4 of an inch on each side. So that will make the panels that we cut out for each one of these pages to be 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. And that's the size that we're cutting all the mats for each and every single one of these pages. And we're going to go ahead and just glue that little bad boy down. Now, this is not going to fit into your We Are Memory Keepers little punch thingamajiggy for the planners. So, oh, there's Matthias. He tried to jump on our table. So we're going to have to use a handheld puncher to basically punch out those holes. And what I do is I lay down one side of the DSP paper and then I hole punch it. So right here, we're just going to go ahead and cut all of our little card mats that we're going to use for each one of our little pages. And this is the part where you're going to have to look at the actual DSP and figure out which part of the DSP you want to be shown on your pages. Like for instance, in this part, I want that boat to be coming out on our page. So I'm going to make sure that that, you know, is the focus on that page. And then the same thing with the little sky. So this is the part where you're going to have to just kind of be careful on the design of your actual DSP paper. Unless it's like a plaid or like a polka dots or something, then you really don't have to worry about this. But anyway, in this case, we do have to kind of worry about it because everything has an, you know, an upside or a downside on this DSP paper. I really like this. This reminds me of like the boardwalk. And so I really kind of like to use a lot of this one, the one with the little wood planks, if that's what it's called. I'm not really 100% sure what it's called. I just made that up. Is that even a word? It is a word. Don't judge me. And so right here, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, we're still cutting the mats, guys. We haven't even finished because there is a total of 12 mats that we're going to be cutting out for this little photo album. And this little paper pack that we purchased from the Hobby Lobbies, it had the perfect amount of DSP paper to make this little project. We're basically using almost everything that came into that paper pack, honestly, to tell you the truth. Now, I did order some little clip art that we will be using on this too, but from Etsy. But for the most part, 90%, I would say 95% of what we're using in this photo album came from that paper pack. So just so you guys could, have in mind that you could always make a project out of one of those packs and still have leftover for other little smaller projects. So right here, we're just going to go ahead and round the corners of each one of these DSP papers, and you want to round off the corner where it's rounded off on the page because you want it to match up. And then just go ahead and glue that little bad boy down, hole punch that little hole between the little hole punches that are already there, and voila, you have it. Just remember, you have to do that every time you lay down a card mat. And right here, you guys can't tell, but I'm really looking at my hole puncher, and I'm really making 100% sure I see where exactly it's hole punching, because I need it to be right pinpoint on top of the other holes that are already there. That sounded funny. So right here, go ahead and just continue to do this process. It is a repeat and repeat. There is really nothing to explain on here, honestly, to tell you the truth, because it's pretty simple. Now, if you're going to use a die, well, then this is going to be a lot easier, because most dies have all of the stuff already ready for you to just put it together. But for the most part, we're not using a die on this one, so everything is manual. And you do have to do some kind of, figuring out, if anything. So right here, we're already going to be working on the last page. And then we're going to go ahead and put this little bad boy together. And just go ahead and hole punch that little bad boy and put the last panel on here. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting this little bad boy together. Hey, we're going to obviously decorate this before we put it together, because it's just going to be a lot easier for you to decorate it versus you putting it all together. Those were all the pages that we put together. I went ahead and just skimmed through them. Now right here, we're just going to go ahead and try to figure out how thick and big of a spine cover we're going to be using. And the album itself right there on that part is about 1/4 of an inch thick. We are going to use the same DSP paper, the same paper that we used for one of the pages on the inside, because we want this to match. And this is going to be cut down to 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then we're going to go ahead and get our scoreboard, and we're going to score it at 1 inch. And then we're going to turn it completely around and score it at 1 inch again. That's going to go ahead and give you 1/4 of an inch gusset in between, so that it, you can fold it around our little photo album. And right here, I'm just using the front and the back cover to mark where the little holes are going to be, and you will need your little handheld hole puncher to go ahead and punch the little holes for your little spine cover. And this is the way we're going to do it for this little bad boy. So now that you have your little spine cover, hey, you just made one. That's awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and figure out where we're going to need to put our little folders. Right here, I was going to try to score each one of these little pages, but trust me, it was too thick and it was not going to work. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and put that little spine cover down. I'm holding it down, and I'm going to try to fold each page towards that little spine, so that it kind of trains to when the recipient is trying to flip the pages over. And I'm just going to go ahead and loosen the fibers on those pages so that they're bendable. And then we're going to go ahead and try to figure out where we're going to put these little photo corner holders, or whatever they're called. Photo corners. I don't know what they're called. But these are these little things, the little stickers that hold the photos into place. So we're going to go ahead and figure out where we're going to put these little bad boys. And what I like to do is I like to get the photo, put these little oh my God, this is a tongue twister. Photo corners onto the photo and then put it down where I want it to be. And then that just places those in a perfect position. So that's how you're going to see me lay these little bad boys down throughout every single one of the pages. And then this is so that we could go ahead and do a perfect measurement, and we know that that's going to be fitting any photo that's a 4x6. So right here I'm just picking out any kind of little DSP paper, any little metallic papers, anything that I feel I could go ahead and use to kind of decorate each one of these little pages. Just have in mind that you don't really have a lot of room to decorate these little pages. Now, you know, the DSP paper in this case is going to do a lot of the work. And that is the reason why we're using DSP paper like this onto this project, is so that you don't have to really decorate that much. And that's because the photo has to be the focal point on each page. And then the decorations are just little tiny accents here and there. You know, you don't have to go crazy on each page. And so we're going to go ahead and just do all of the photo corners on every single one of the pages over here. That's what you're going to see me do right here, boo-boo. And this little technique, I don't know if there is a technique that's been out there with people doing this, but this is the way I've been laying it down. I don't know if it's a lot easier, if it's a lot harder. But you could lay down your little photo corners. Okay, I need to stop saying that, boo-boo, because this is not that easy for little Mexico to say this. So we have all these little bad boys down. And now we're going to go ahead and try to figure out where all of our decorations are. Now just remember that your decorations have to be placed to where your photo needs to be able to still slide behind it. So there's going to be areas on each one of your little clip arts where you are going to be able to attach it with glue. And then there's going to be other areas on your page where you're not going to be able to attach those clip arts with glue. And that is just so that it has a gap so that you can go ahead and slide whatever photo you want behind it. And then so right here, like I said, all I'm doing is I'm just going to go ahead and just grab a bunch of little clip arts and little paper punches and all these little knickknacks and stuff like that that we're going to be using. And then we're just going to go ahead and just place them here and there. So that's what you're going to see me do from here on. So we're going to go ahead and give you the pleasure of just listening to some music for the rest of this little video. And I will see you guys in a bit. welcome back, my little crafty monsters. That's how easy it was to make this little bad boy right here. So, you didn't need any special tools. You didn't need no dies, no nothing. I mean, it's like super easy. I'm pretty sure you guys have probably thought about this and you probably just didn't put it to play, but I simplified it, and now you guys are gonna have to make one of these because they're super simple and they're super cute. Could you imagine a little photo album if, like, let's just say you go to like Disneyland or you go to whatever little attraction, amusement park you have in your guys' area or whatever with your family, you know, it'd be so cute. I've been watching a lot of Medea movies. That's why I'm talking like that. Sorry, boo-boos. That's why you probably notice I say hello a lot. But anyway, so it's super easy, and I hope that inspires you guys to make one of these little bad boys. And if you guys do, you guys definitely have to share with us on our Facebook. Not on yours, but if you do on yours, make sure you guys tag us, Paper to Masterpiece. Hashtag Paper to Masterpiece, boo boo. And then we would come up and then we would like say muchos gracias, mijo, muchos gracias. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little icon of me. It is moi. And we become BFFs because I know you guys want to be my BFFF. I mean, like, seriously, bobos. Why wouldn't you want to be BFFs with me? FFFFs. That's how extra we are. So anyway, and if you guys are returning subscribers, thank you so much. You guys freaking rock. 385. Yes. Are we going to hit the 400? Yeah, we are, boo-boo, because if we got this far, we're going to go to 400. So anyways, that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. Don't forget to share and tell a friend. Share and tell a friend. Don't be stingy. Don't be trying to keep this to yourself, boo-boo. Okay, this is not the time to be stingy. This is the time to be sharing and caring, boo-boo. Okay? I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of us grew up with the Care Bears. And if you guys didn't, get with it, boo-boo. Until next time. Goodbye.